We are waiting, okay.
Oh, yep.
Yeah,
There
you
I am.
can share screen
Can you see me with
and
the background, or
of
is that
course,
because there's some storm and some building in the background?
it's okay.
Okay, so welcome
Yes.
from my side as well.
Yeah.
I share the screen, and Marcus already overtook for like 15 minutes, so I have to go much faster. Technical problems.
Yeah.
Can you see the slide?
Yeah.
It should be a
Yeah, it's
big
okay.
green bird.
Vogel.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Ah, can
It's
you see the slide?
Vogel.
Exactly. All right, so welcome from my side as well. We already met on Monday. Um, Usually, when I give a presentation on science communication, I talk about science communication, what it is, how do we do it, why do we do it. And then I sat down there yesterday and said, well, it's basically your third day. You already know that. There is no point in for me talking about what it is and the different players and the fancy European Union definition video I usually show and what the different players do, the journalists, the funding agencies, the politicians, the public, and you as scientists, and what are the reasons why you do science communication. You already know all that. There is no reason for me to point that out again. Um, I usually would have talked about the different formats and the dialogue ones, the one way, the online formats, meet a scientist and science shows and podcasts and whatnot. And there is no point doing that because you already know that, because Tiana talked about it, Nemanja talked about it, Sascha, and everybody else. So there's no point for me in doing that. Instead, I'm going to give you something which might help you, hopefully, to get a bit into science communication. It is pretty much my personal story how I became a science communicator. And so it is my personal story, in brackets, in science communication. What I personally learned from it, what I'm hopefully about to learn, and what I didn't learn yet. So this is the idea. If at any point you have any questions, just stop me. There will be plenty of information. You don't need to remember anything, just basically the last slide. So no reason to sleep yet. However, don't fixate on any dates or so. What I want to introduce is a luck-o-meter. It is basically a meter which goes from left to right. There is no data scooping, just like Marcus presented. Left is basically, this was a conscious decision. I really made a proper decision to do it. So for example, being here now is, in a sense, a conscious decision to be here Wednesday morning at 10. On the right side is pure luck. So this happened because I was just in the right time at the right place for no reason at all. I was just lucky. So, and you'll see how it works once we figure it out. So this is basically how we measure. We just have a triangle. There's no axis whatsoever. And again, this is a decision, and this is pure luck. All right, so let's start with my career in science communication. I just, the last night, I took out all the dates. My personal career in science communication started in June 2010. This was the very start, my first contact with science communication whatsoever. I was a PhD. I was just finished my PhD like half a year ago, and was a postdoc somewhere in France. And I was invited to. Well, I saw there's a science slam. I guess you know what that is. If not, Tiana certainly should have told you. Did you? Does everybody know what a science slam is?
Yeah, I suppose everybody knows
I guess
what's science.
I guess
Yeah.
you'd already talked about formats, etc. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I said, yeah, let's do a science slam. So I started the science slam. It was called, so I translated it. It was called "Why the LHC Destroys the World and What We Can Do About It." And this was a proper conscious decision. So I went there and said, yes, I want to give a talk on the LHC and why it destroys the world and what we can do about it. It was, of course, slightly satirical. The LHD did not destroy the world, obviously, yet. And there was a talk about, well, particle physics, basically. It went fine. And then, roughly a year later, another science slam, and this was called the Broken Translational Invariance of Physical Series, which then translated into Physics in Hollywood, which was on the Lacometer scale. Well, we'll talk about that in a second. But the story behind that is I promised the organizer that I will organize or talk somebody into giving a talk at their science slam. And well, I couldn't do that. And then I said the wrong sentence. Well, if I cannot do it, I will do it myself. And this is where pretty much all it started, because I could not convince somebody else, so I had to do it myself. Which was, well, in a sense, lucky or bad luck, depending on from the angle you see it. I actually won that science slam. This is a trophy. I just took a picture yesterday. It's a bamble of wisdom, as we call it. It's like a jug of wisdom where you put the wine or apple wine into it. So it was, in a sense, pure luck, because it was very, very close winning that or not. So it was basically, yes, I said I'm going to do it, but it was luck that it went on. Then I kept doing them because, well, once you win a science slam, everybody else asks, do you want to come to Hamburg? Do you want to come to Munich? Do you want to come somewhere? Do you want to, etc.? And then you give more talks and you enjoy it. You meet lots of interesting people. But in a sense, it was lucky. So if nobody would have liked to talk, my career in science communication would be over by then. Then, roughly a year later again, this guy started. This was, again, a science slam, which I actually did for Marcus. So all the big research projects in the state of Hessen, where we are now, they decided, yeah, we should do something. We should do a science slam again. And everybody basically takes somebody, like a PhD student or postdoc or professor or whatnot, and put them on stage, and they all talk about in a funny way what they're doing. So basically, like in the old Rome, where you choose a gladiator from every research project, and then they hop into it. Then I did that. For some reason, also, I was not even connected to the research project. I went in that. And then on the Lacometer, I was pretty much lucky because I knew the moderator, and usually you measure the success of a talk by the noise the audience makes. And from my point of view, the noise for myself and the second and the third one, they were exactly the same. So the moderator decided, yeah, Sascha won. And suddenly all the people in Hessen said, yeah, he seems to know what he's talking about. He gives good presentations. He won, obviously, our famous science slam. Let's talk to him on other stages. And this is where basically for the last, 8 years or so, I'm doing stuff for the Ministry of Science here in Hessen. The campaign is called Hessen schafft Wissen, so Hessen creates knowledge, which was, it started as a decision. So I talked to somebody, yeah, do you want to do something? But then randomly he talked to other people, and suddenly I was invited to the ministry. And I said, yeah, I have no clue, I just go. And suddenly they said, yeah, we have that big project coming up. How much money do you need? I said, well, I don't know. Yeah, if it costs 100,000 euros, it doesn't matter. How much money do you need? Like, okay. Suddenly I had access to quite a lot of money to actually spend. Just by, it was pure luck. I was in the right or wrong room, depending on the angle, at the right time, at the right place, having no clue what I'm doing. And then actually stuff started to happen in parallel. Wait a second, the phone rings. There. Stuff started to happen in parallel. Just as a reminder, I was still a postdoc, or at that point, I was still employed at university at that time, 100%. I started with the physics in Hollywood stuff. Roughly, again, a year later, we decided, after I gave plenty of presentations, science slams and other stuff, we decided, well, why don't we just book a lecture hall and sell tickets and see what happens? If nothing happens, well, then nothing happened. And if it works, well, then it will. We actually rented this lecture hall, and within 5 minutes, literally 5 minutes, which I could not believe, it was totally booked out. Which until today, I don't know how that happened. However, the people actually showed up and they actually paid. And then I suddenly was on stage and people paid to see me talk about physics. Then we decided, okay, let's do that again and invite people from real theaters, like people who actually have theaters, and maybe they want to book you after that. So we did that, and then I played. There's not a picture of myself, but I played there and plenty of other theaters. Just like a year ago, so I was 1.5 years ago, I was playing in a stadium, which was again pure luck because some agency called me. Yeah, do you want to do a presentation in the stadium? And I said yes. I don't care what you pay. I'll come because it's in a stadium. And then I realized that when I was there, it was in a stadium, yes, but they basically literally put a TV in front of this tiny area here. So we had like 100 people as an audience in a tiny part of a stadium, and the screen was like a big TV, which was completely useless. And they could have done it in any seminar room wherever, but they decided to do it in a stadium. I have no clue why, but for my personal CV, I can tell people I played in a stadium already. So again, pure luck, and at least I think it's a funny story. So then there are plenty of press articles, and we slightly professionalized. And this was also the Hessen people who paid an artist to do pictures. So just these pictures, I basically got a phone call of somebody I knew from the ministry, and they said, well, it was a Friday evening. I was just walking from the office to my home, and he said, yeah, we have an artist. He comes the day after tomorrow. Can we do some photo shoots in university? Like, Oliver, it's Friday. The day after tomorrow is Sunday. Nobody's in university at Sunday. Yeah, but he's already here and he's really expensive. Yeah, so what shall we do? Can you come and do some photo shoots? Well, yes, but I'm a theoretical physicist. There's nothing interesting about me. Well, we make something interesting. Then we decided to do physics in Hollywood pictures, which I up to now can use as promo material. So this was basically, this pictures, both of them, is me standing in a lecture hall and a Photoshop artist, randomly paid by somebody else because they couldn't organize the dates. So good luck for me, bad luck for them. And now this is actually up to date. This is now the theater hopefully happens due to Corona, nobody knows. In October, it is still going strong. It is still basically the way I pay my rent. And it started as a dude who randomly started a science slam and afterwards just said, yes, let's do that. I have no training whatsoever, and I just did stuff without knowing what I'm doing. So this is the first message. The second, what happened then afterwards, is all that exhibition. I told you about the Hessen project, which we started, where I was suddenly in the ministry. Suddenly they said, you have plenty of money, do something. And we did a hands-on exhibition. So here again, it was on the luckometer. I'm totally on the pure luck side. Suddenly we were in the Hessian parliament, somewhere in the middle, doing science for families, for kids, for the general public. This is now the following will be like, I don't know, 20, 30 photos of the exhibition we built. So stop me if anything is not visible. So we built particle accelerators where kids can play around with. We bought some experiments which are pretty standard. This is again in a school where we talked about mathematics to kids. Again, the marshmallow and vacuum. Then we went to museums and actually showed the exhibition. This is actually a message. It's all German, so don't try to read it. But the message says, yeah, thanks to you, we again have like a physics course in school because you came. And then there's one message. The last one is from Marcus' old school, so the Helmholtz-Schule. Yeah, this was really successful. Please come again. So seemed to work. Then we had major exhibitions on basically festivals where we had like I don't know 20 meters of length. So Tom was also involved there. And again, this was say being in the wrong room at the wrong time in the ministry, and they said do that. Again, I'm a theoretical physicist. By training, I have no clue what I did there. And I remember still. So wait a second. Let's take this as an example. This is a nice exhibition or a nice piece. It is basically like roughly 1,200 magnets or so on a uniquely made. I think it's aluminium. Might be part of it might be steel, where they basically glued all the magnets on, and then you have a superconductor which flies. So you can see it currently down here. And my idea was, okay, can we do something like a Möbius loop? And we slightly altered it, and then we started here. I went into the workshop and I said, guys, can we do something? I want to start here, go like that, and again come up here. They had no clue what I was talking about. Then they said, that's not possible. Like, yeah, but it should be possible. Let's try. And then suddenly some guy said, yeah, we could do it like this and this, and half a year later we had that. When they asked me how many millimeters you want, I said roughly this large. So that was the only thing they knew. And again, it works. Plenty of people come, even though it's outdoor and bad weather. Other exhibits, it's all from the field of physics we're all working on. This is us starting the superconductor show. Then another exhibition we had is on the Frankfurt Book Fair. There was also quite a funny story. We were at some party, and so actually a party where we had the exhibition somewhere in Berlin. And we always wondered, so we should go to the Frankfurt Book Fair because there are people who are, let's say, they care about knowledge and education, because otherwise, why would you be on the book fair? So this should be like a nice audience to present physics to, because usually they are in different fields like languages and so on. Let's do some physics on the book fair. Then I looked, okay, what does it cost to go to the Frankfurt Book Fair? Then I realized, no, that is not possible. They want like 12,000 euros for the space we need. There's no chance we can pay that. Then randomly at a party, so I was just having a drink with some other people, I got a phone call like, yeah, you should come down here, come down quick. So, what's happening? Yeah, the boss of the book fair is at our booth and she wants that we come. Like, okay, I went there and then, okay, hi, how are you, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we really like your stuff. You really should come to the book fair. So yeah, we thought about that, but it's really, really expensive. No, you are invited. We basically paid nothing now. So we are invited as part where we actually get the space for free. Well, not free for legal reasons, but pretty much free. So, and this was just having a drink with some random people at a party. So then we did some projects for refugees. That was our institute. Then we were invited. This is the Minister of Science at that time. This was also quite cool. This is the German Federal Council, the Bundesrat in Berlin. And they have a yearly exhibition, and they always have like the other ministries from the states coming and so on. And somebody in the Hessen ministry said, who should represent science in Hessen? Should it be the University of Frankfurt? No. Should it be the University of Darmstadt? No. Should it be, and so on? No. Let's take those guys, because when they come, people come and enjoy. So they invited us, we went there, and suddenly we were standing in the Federal Council explaining science to visitors. So, which was quite funny. And up to now, I can still claim we outmatched all the universities in our state. Then we started, and Tom knows that. Maybe you're even on the picture, I don't know. Then we said, yeah, that was actually after the workshop Mirza went to. I don't know whether you talked about Prague already. We decided, yeah, let's do an escape room, a scientific escape room. One of the projects there also was an escape room, and we said, yeah, let's do that for real. And then we started. This is actually in the office building we are currently sitting in. And this is in the cellar. There was an empty room, and I said, can I build an escape room there? No, I actually didn't tell anybody. So I had it anyway. I had it for some other reasons. And then I started to build a prototype of an escape room. And this was literally the most fun I ever had in this year. This was, so if you ever want to have fun, build an escape room. And this was basically one of the first tests of some physics students who miserably failed. Did you test as well, Tom? Yes. Oh yeah, Tom failed as well. And then the prototype worked, and they said, yeah, let's take it to the exhibition. It was all mobile. This is a family basically trying to solve the escape room. And then we went from the family to this picture. And Marcus knows who that is. At some point, so we had, usually when you have like a big exhibition for the state, the minister and the secretary of state and so on, they always come and visit, for like a formal visit, and you show them everything and how nice it is and blah, blah, blah. And usually everybody's really excited. But once you've done it like, I don't know, 20 or 30 times, you just stop caring at some point, because it's like, they come, you show them, they go, everything's fine. And we were just about to prepare for that, so that everything is tidy and so on. And suddenly the minister of science is standing next to me, and the state secretary. So the minister is to the left and the state secretary is to the right. So I was standing there like, oh shit, I just sent all the people basically to have lunch before they come, so that everybody's there when they come. So nobody's here except for me. No, and one other student was there. So nobody's here. Oh, damn it. Let's put them in the escape room, because then they cannot see all the other stuff, because it's like a box. Okay. Hey, do you want to go for an escape room? And they said, yes, okay. Okay, we need some more people. I turned around and I see 5 young students. So one of them is basically this girl, like they were like, I don't know, 14, 15. And I said, do you want to go for an escape room? Said, yes. Okay, you and you just go in now. Then I opened the door, like, okay, then one of my students or one of my team members just came out. And so, is it ready? Is the escape room ready? Yes, I just finished it. Okay, you have guests. And we just put them in. They didn't see anything, that outside everything was empty. And they enjoyed and were looking through Sheldon t-shirts of Big Bang Theory and other stuff. And after that, the student or my team member asked me, so who was that? Because she started to, yeah, how do you like it? And she started talking like they were friends. And then I told her, that was the Minister of Science. Then she completely freaked out. And oh shit, in German we say duzen. So it's she very informally talked to her. Like, yeah, that was fine. That was completely authentic. Just go for it. So, and then they were completely amazed what we do, and well. So again, that was pure luck on the luckometer. It was to the absolutely luck side. And again, we just started it randomly somewhere in this building, in the cellar, in an illegal room. Then other stuff we did is shows that, again, on one of the exhibitions, somebody came to me and said, yeah, you know, we have that stage and it's empty. Do you have anything we could do? I said, no, not really. Well, we have lots of liquid nitrogen. So just because we had it for the exhibition, we could just blow up stuff on stage. I mean, it's nice. It always works. People like it. Then we started blowing up stuff on stage, and I still remember the organizer of the whole exhibition told me, hey, yeah, you can destroy the stage because tomorrow we are gone anyway. Then we destroyed the stage, and then he came, no, I didn't mean it. I really didn't mean it. So anyway, we had plenty of explosions, and we made ice cream for everybody with liquid nitrogen. And then randomly, we were invited to do other shows for other people. And then we went to a theater, and people actually paid to see us. And then we were standing on stage doing stuff. Because I knew somebody who worked there, and they said, yeah, I saw you there. Do you want to come? And suddenly we were blowing stuff up on real stages and bigger stages, and so on and so on. Then this is us in the audience. There's some more impressions from physics in Hollywood. And again, this was a random dude who randomly found an empty stage and just did stuff. I just said, yes. Can you do something on this empty stage? I guess, yes. Then we started and said, yeah, let's do some workshops at university. Again, I have no formal training whatsoever. And I said, yeah, let's do some workshop at some seminar at university. So this is just a proof that it actually exists. So we call it science communication. And then we actually, with the students together, we developed the second part of the escape room. We developed theater plays. We developed board games, presentations, exhibits, etc., etc. Plenty of good stuff. This is actually the very room we are sitting in, where we developed. This is actually the same place I'm sitting in, where we developed the second part of the escape room. You can see like letter magnets here, other magnetic stuff, and so on. So this was basically This was actually something I learned from Marcus. I asked him, okay, can I give a seminar on science communication at university? Because, you know, we are like the physics department, and well, this is not physics, this is something else. What can we do? Shall I go to the, I don't know, social scientist people, or where should I go? And he said, yeah, just do it in physics. Just say, yes, you're doing science communication now. You want to do a seminar, and just write, you want to do a seminar. And that's it. I said, yeah, I want to do a seminar. And like 2 days later, I was in the lecture curriculum, which was amazingly easy. And I think nobody ever cared. I think nobody up to now cares. Because I'm not even at university anymore, and I'm still doing the seminar. Anyway, so then I started, this was 2017. I started to write proposals, again, without telling the institute, which they didn't like very much. I wrote a proposal for some money to get basically funding for a summer school on science communication. So it was called the ISC 2017, the Interdisciplinary Science Communication Conference. And then we invited people, and we actually got the funding. We invited people. This is where I met Brad for the first time, because I still have the email, I guess. So he was, yeah, I just moved to the area. I'm doing science communication. Can I come? I said, yeah, sure, come along. We pay everything. And this is how we met. And now we're sitting in the same seminar room, giving lectures to Bosnia. Then this is where Mirza met Brett. This was basically, oh yeah, there's some funding left. What can we do? Yeah, let's do a spring school on science communication. And then we went to Prague. Mirza went to Prague as well. And we talked about science communication. Then we did the European Summer School on Science Communication, which was in Frankfurt, where I potentially met some of you, but has anybody been there just by chance? Because there were some Bosnians. No? It's very tiny. I cannot see whether somebody raises a hand. Tiana and Sascha have been there, so certainly two. And that was quite some fun. We talked about science communication again. And again, it was like writing 5 pages why this is a good idea, and we got the money and we did it. This is basically the end of the prelude. So this is basically my career in science communication while I was still at university. So I always had a university job as my main job, basically. And then suddenly things changed here at the institute, and well, things were slightly strange then, and lots of micromanagement. And I decided, let's do science communication for real. Let's just make a career out of it. So far, it worked quite well. We seem to know what we're doing. People invite us, people give us money. Let's do it as a real job. But before I come to that, so what I learned so far is what is really important, and that was basically the reason why I did it as a main job, is whatever you do, especially in science communication, reason number one, you have to enjoy what you do. If you don't enjoy it, don't do it. Very simple. Because in the very beginning, there's no money to be had. There is not quite a lot of fame in there. So you have to enjoy it, because otherwise there's no point. So support, other things I learned is support young people to do stuff. So give them opportunities. So that would be you in this case. Just say, okay, here's a project. What would you do? Here's part 2 of the escape room. I have no clue how to do it. What would you do? And so on. So take ideas from everybody, especially young people, because they have lots of ideas usually. And again, this is you. And the most important maybe is say yes. If somebody says, yeah, do you want to give a talk about your science? The answer is always yes. So that works quite well. All right, and then I started my real career in science communication. So I founded the company just roughly a year ago, and we started operating. So then we renovated offices and we started operations pretty much on the 1st of January. So it was really like 8 months ago. So we started. We had plenty of bookings and everything was fine, and we had exhibitions and we had talks and we had shows and everything, and we sold them. So we could make a living. That was fine. And then March came and everything was different. So we still are very good at very interactive formats. So going to exhibitions, going to shows, on stages, interacting with people. That's what basically our style is. And then March came, and with March, this unfriendly piece of virus, which on the luckometer is really bad luck. So we basically started in January, and on March, everything was basically from, yeah, we are doing good, to 0, which was quite unfair. Yeah, at least I think so. But then after like 10 minutes of complaining, we said, okay, what can we do? So we have to do something different. We cannot do what we usually do. There's no point in it, because we're just legally not allowed. What can we do? And we started a YouTube channel, which, this is a piece of advertisement, you all should subscribe to. It's really bad. Just search for Science Birds and you find it. We don't even have enough subscribers to have like a short link. What we basically did is we said, yeah, we have like, we did science workshop for kids as well. And we have like small experiments, and we can just show the experiments and do like 5 minutes videos on what can you do for your kids when you're at home during Corona. So that's what we said. Yeah, that might be a good idea. We figured out that you can produce it, but it's really quite a lot of work. And if you want to have it on a certain level, doing videos is not so easy, but it's easy actually to upload. So you can do it if you just want to do it as fun. You can start it and actually get successful. So we instead concentrated on Instagram, where we upload stuff that is, which we think is fun, Facebook and so on. So we basically, as anti-corona measures, we went all digital, which works surprisingly well. What is very important when you talk about social media is do not expect any wonders. So do not expect that you start like the science communication page and suddenly you have like 1 million followers and everybody's cheering for you and so on. That might have worked like 20 years ago, but nowadays this is pretty much not saturated. You still, if you have a good idea, you should go for it. But what I learned at least is you have to be persistent. Don't expect too much or anything, and very important, content is king. So you need regular content, you need proper pictures, you need somewhat like a overall matching style in a sense. So, and this is basically why we personally scrapped YouTube for a while, because we don't have the time to actually do that currently, because we have some other projects going on, which I'm going to tell you in a second. So if you go for social media, I guess those are the three things I learned. You have to be persistent, don't go in with any expectations, and content is king. So go for good content. And one idea how to create good content, Brad will tell you about a bit, or in a bit. Then we decided, okay, what else could we do? And we said, okay, we have plenty of people who are currently sitting at home because they are not allowed to get out, just due to Corona. Then we said, okay, we have plenty of experiments which we are not allowed to do because the kids cannot come to our place, or we cannot come to the schools, etc. What could we do? We could just pack them up in a box, put a price tag on the box, put up an online store and sell them. That's what we did. We call them science boxes. People get pretty standard material. They get like a proper manual. They get like test tubes and pipettes and whatnot, and gummy bears, which are very important. I guess most people just buy it for the gummy bears. And we wondered, okay, will we sell them? We're not sure, but well, maybe somebody buys them. And surprisingly enough, we are currently approaching the 5-digit revenue. So it's actually selling quite well. And we decided, okay, maybe we should have like proper boxes, instead of like just some carton boxes, which we randomly bought on Amazon. And we should have like proper manuals, not the ones we printed on paper we had lying around. And maybe we should have like a proper online shop. So we did all that. So we'll have like a new online shop, and this is part of our main business now, just by coincidence. So we did it as an anti-corona measure, but now it's actually quite a good source of income. Although they're called, the boxes are called Curie, Einstein, and Da Vinci. So we created birds for them. And well, this is basically what you get if you just get a bit creative during Corona. Something we just started literally this Sunday. So it is somewhat allowed to meet with like up to 10 people again in Germany. So we sold our very first science birthday. So we had like 8 kids, and we have like the retired pirate captain who is searching for somebody who is worthy of his treasure, and they have to solve science mysteries, science riddles. And we actually sold it for way too much money to some family who wanted to have like a birthday party, a scientific birthday party. And again, you get the idea why it's called Science Birds, the company. All right, this is basically what we did. What we did learn, or what I did learn, I had a very fast crash course in online marketing. So if you do anything online, think about that everybody else is already there, and you need to somehow stick out. You need to somehow be visible. You need to find the people who should consume or buy or watch or listen to your stuff. So that's really important. Keep in mind that you need to do some marketing when you do stuff online. Otherwise, people will not find it. And what we did learn is importing stuff from China, how to do that. And my suggestion is don't do it unless you really need a lot of stuff. So it's very, very complicated. And I'm still trying to get the stuff out of the harbor. I think it's supposed to arrive on Monday. Let's see. What I'm about to learn, and this is basically the last part, is reporting and interviewing. So on scientific topics. So just again, something I just recently started, and I'm just currently editing the first episode, and I'm not going to talk about a lot about that because Brad is. We started a podcast about Frankfurt, and the idea is it is like a scientific podcast, but nobody knows it's a scientific podcast. So we'll interview plenty of people from Frankfurt. Many of them will be scientists, and nobody will realize because there will be good stories, because science always has good stories, just pretty much by definition. Something completely different. Again, the Hessen people said, yeah, we cannot do any events this year. What shall we do? We start a new video project. So again, this was wrong people, wrong time, in the wrong spot. We have somebody build a giant robot costume. We put Sascha in there. We sent it to, scientific institution somewhere in Hessen, and have the robot, who is a very bad reporter from outer space, and have him basically do interviews. I cannot show you the whole video, but it's actually quite funny. And we were just at the GSI in Darmstadt doing interviews with people in a giant robot costume. And this is the newest project, basically. Like, we have a professional video team and a professional editing team. And we're currently talking about potentially doing it for the next, 3 or 4 years. So again, Corona happened. Somebody said, let's do something crazy. We know this guy already did other stuff. Let's ask him whether he goes into a giant robot costume. No, they actually didn't ask even. They said, we produce that for you. And suddenly I was a reporter. So again, I have no formal training in that whatsoever. I just happened to be at the wrong time, in the wrong place with the wrong people. And this is basically my last slide. What I didn't learn yet. And this is, again, if you forgot everything I just told you, just keep that in mind, because what I didn't learn yet, and there was quite a lot of stuff, and we did quite a lot of stuff. What I did not learn yet is how to communicate science. I have no formal training whatsoever. I never even had like a half-a-day course of science communication. I did my PhD in theoretical physics. I randomly started a science slam, got invited by other people, was in the wrong place at the wrong time, got some money for other stuff, which led to some other stuff, which led to some other stuff. Something worked, some other stuff did not work. And suddenly I'm currently a science ambassador to the state of Hessen, whatever that means. And actually make a living 10 years later, selling science communication to people. So this is actually nothing you can really plan for. So, and again, this is the message. You don't need any formal training. I just talked about, to the other guys here in the room, nobody ever had any formal training. You can study science communication if you like. But usually, well, the successful people are the ones who just started, stick with it, enjoy it, and have fun with it, and go for it. So, and this would be my main message. If you forget everything I talked about, if you enjoy science communication, just go for it. Find a medium that you like, whether it's a podcast, Instagram channels, exhibitions, talks, board games, escape rooms, whatever you enjoy. Just do it and talk to people. So, because they will connect you all over the place, get connected. Again, that's the whole point of this workshop. Do stuff together, see what sticks, and just start communicating your science. You don't need any formal training. There is no, I'm not ready for this, or I don't know what I'm going to talk about. Just go for it and do it. So with that, of course, the advertising part, follow us on Instagram and Facebook and whatnot. Enjoy the rest of the workshop. If you have any questions, happy to answer them. And just in time. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks, Sascha. So, anybody with the questions and comments? See, over there? Not right now. Not. Yes, you can. Can you do you want to do it? Okay.
I just want to tell you that you are very productive. All your exhibitions and your activity is very good. And
Do you hear it, Sascha?
No, I just went from the microphone in my ear to the room that all the other can hear it. So can you repeat?
Okay, can you repeat?
Sorry for that.
Okay.
no, I just said that you are very productive, and I like your activities and your exhibitions. Unfortunately, we don't have it a lot here in Bosnia.
Hopefully we will have. Yeah.
Hopefully we will have.
You don't need much, to be honest. So, do you have a cell phone? Does anybody of you have a cell phone?
No.
No, nobody has a cell phone. If you have a cell phone, you are a podcaster. Fred will tell you about that. If you have like a hardware store and 10 km, you can build exhibits. It's literally just start somewhere. There's no reason, you don't need lots. And so just in terms of the exhibits, one of the the best exhibit we have is, I just share the screen again. No, that's the wrong screen. Yeah. So we have like the fancy exhibits with like, which cost like thousands of euros, which are made in a metal workshop and blah, blah, blah. The best exhibit we have in the whole exhibition is this. This is Thomas nodding. So this is the perfect exhibit if you want to explain a particle detector. I have never seen anything better. I stole the idea, by the way, from somebody else, so it's not mine, who potentially stole it from somebody else again, and so on. So this is basically two pieces of wood combined with some other leftover wood, and we literally build it with children by now. So we take some spare wood. It costs like 10 bucks. If you want to do it smaller, it's even cheaper. And you can tell people what a particle detector is. So and again, you don't need to spend it yourself. If you get together, and it's just start somewhere. You even can build that. We're currently building that out of Lego. So you can take basically everything you find somewhere in the forest, if you like. There's really, you don't need plenty of money if you have ideas.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay. Thanks, Sascha, again. Marcus, and we'll be back here in 15 minutes to proceed. Okay. So 15 minutes, coffee break, bring coffee here, and so we can proceed. So next one is Brad. So, okay, it will be on in 15 minutes. Is it okay? Brad, Tom, Marcus, Sascha?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. 15 minutes. You don't need to hang up, so.